Greetings to all you viewers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. If this is the first time logging into my channel, thank you so much and welcome to my channel. Today's topic, we're going to focus on how do you motivate your team at work. As a manager, we all know that it's a very difficult task to keep your team motivated towards the end of the year. It is a very hard task to do, to motivate your team in order for them to become an effective team for your company that you're working on. And for add it all, as we all know the weather currently that we are on, as I'm speaking now, we just ended summer, we're going towards autumn and towards winter. And this is a difficult times where colleagues or your teams becomes really poorly, they become down under the weather. So it takes a lot of motivation to motivate them to really come back to work, especially when it's winter time. That's the hardest time to get colleagues to come to work. And how do you motivate them for them to become happy to come to work? So I'm going to share with you 12 tips of how to motivate your teams. So I'm going to go through them one by one. This is not an overall, but this is just what I am using currently at my workplace. So I'm just going to share these ideas to you, how I work within my team, so that we all can learn and share here. So the first one I'm going to start up with is effective communication. As a team, nobody wants to be left out. Everybody wants to know what is happening and how do you deliver this communication to the team. Have that frequent communication with your team to get to know them, to get to know how they feel, to get to know everything about them. So have that chat, that frequent communication. You meet them around, you meet them at the corridor or wherever. Just tap them, just have that communication. Through by what somebody has responded, you can tell how they feel. So effective communication with your team is a very crucial, one of the main steps to have that good communication, that checking on them to see how they are, what is their well-being. So effective communication is one part of them. So the second tip of the communication is lead by examples. As a leader, your teams wants to see what you do. They follow by examples. They follow what you as a leader is capable of. Are you working together alongside with them? Are you working with them as a team? Are you sharing ideas with them? Are you there in the job? Are you checking on them to see if they are improving? Are you also there part of the job that you are doing? You need to lead by example. Let me say, for instance, if you're coming to work and late, you're always late for work as a manager, you lead the team to also start doing the same, coming to work late. If you have poor communication skills, they will follow the route. So they follow your lead, how you work with them or how you work with external companies. They follow by example. So you need to be a good team player. You need to lead by example. How you want your team to be, this is how you will show them. And the third tip I'm going to share with you is constantly give positive feedback. If you find out that your team is really doing well, don't just ignore that. Give positive feedback. Tell them that you recognize what they've done. Tell them that you recognize the outcome of all the works that they are doing. Give them praises. Tell them this is fine, this is okay. Tell them, oh team, I'm so proud of you. I will give you as an example. Where I'm working at the moment, it is a very stressed environment and we were very, very short of staff. But the way the team handles situations, honestly, I was so proud of the team. What did I do? I started tapping up. I called up a meeting, a short meeting with them, just to embrace the good work they've done and to give them that feedback that you've done a really great job. All of them were all like laughing, even though it was a very stressed situation, but the way they handle it, I was impressed. So I have to give them that positive feedback to acknowledge that, yes, I've recognized the good work that they've done. So this has already made them to even do more of the work. So the fourth tip I'm going to share with you is, as a manager, you have to understand your team work style. How do they work? Some people can have strength in some areas, but they do have weaknesses on some areas. So you need to know how their work style is. And how you know their work style, this is how you delegate tasks. This is how you work with them. Those are the patterns you need to follow. Where there are weaknesses, you create opportunities for them to grow. Where there are strengths, you support them to grow on those strengths. So you need to know their work style. And the fifth tip I'm going to give you is, as a leader, you need to explain the whys. That is WHYS. In the work environment, wherever there is a gap, wherever there is a lack of communication, wherever there is confusion around the environment, as a manager, you need to update your team. You need to tell them the whys. If there is a problem, they need to know. If there is a solution, they need to know. You need to have constant feedback explaining where there is doubt, where there is gap. You need to explain the reasons, the issues. So it is very important where there is a gap of communication or where there is a confusion, you need to explain to your team why is that happening. You need to give them regular feedback and updates of any changes that is happening in your company or your workplace. And I can't even remember the count of I can't even remember the count of the tips, but I'll just go through to what I have, what is coming on my head. I don't know if it's going to be on the 12 or 11, it doesn't matter, as long as I give you the tips that I have on my head. Okay, the next tip, I think I will now say next rather than counting them, because otherwise I'll get confused. Easily, pardon me. Okay, the next tip I'm going to share with you in order for you to have a motivated team is, you need to make your team feel valued. As we all know, people like to feel valued, recognized, especially when they are in front of their colleagues or peers. When you recognize somebody done a great job, make them feel valued. Give them that respect. Give them that praises of work well done. This goes a long way when the colleagues or when your team recognize that you really value their work and you really gave them that feedback and those praises of what they've done. It makes them feel so proud of themselves, especially in front of their colleagues or wherever the praise is happening. It makes them feel so valued. It makes them become so welcoming into the company or wherever. It makes them become so happy. Every day they're looking forward to come to work. Let me give you an example, just a short example with my team, my current team. I've got a set of team. Absolutely, I would say all of them. Sometimes they come to work, you can sense that they feel poorly. And then you ask them, why are you here? And they will say, oh, I just don't feel like staying at home today. I feel like coming to work. If I don't come to work, I felt like I've missed a lot. I said, but this is workplace and it's a stress place. He said, yes, I understand that, Maria. But I like being with my team. And I love the way my manager is supporting me here. If I stay at home, only me, there's no one there, I'm feeling lonely. So it's better for me to come to work. Despite they are very unwell, I will still tell them, please, I'll still put you on the sick. I'm not encouraging you to stay at work today. I will advise you to go home. But since this is your decision that you want to stay here, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you any tax today, but just find somewhere where you can relax. When you feel like going home, the option is up to you. But if you stay here, it's fine by me. As long as you don't involve yourself in any tax at the moment until you feel better. So this is how My team felt like if they don't come to work at all, they felt like they missed a big part of the team. My workload, my team, what we do is a very stressful task that we are doing. It's a very stressful work that we do, but it's the way how you motivate your team makes them not to feel the pressure. They don't feel the hard work that they are doing because they felt recognized. Okay, so let's move on. So the next tip I'm going to share with you again is task delegation. Delegation, delegation, delegation. They always say delegation is a process on how you divide tasks. I love delegating tasks. Oh, that is one of my skills. if I can say it's a skills. I love delegating tasks. When the teams are on board, don't allow your team to become like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. When they start sitting down, not knowing way forward what to do, it gives them bored. So what do? With the next tip, I did mention about know your team's style of work. If you have a lot of tasks, a lot of job roles to do, delegate it. And when you're delegating those tasks, make sure that you delegate it to the right person so that they will be able to have a positive outcome. So you look at your colleagues or you look at your team and see which are the areas, which are their strengths, which are their weakness. That is how you delegate the tasks to the right person so that you can have a good outcome. So delegation is a very important task. Don't let everything go only by you. Don't do everything by yourself as a manager or as a leader. You need to delegate tasks to your team. By dividing the workload, it minimizes the risk of poor outcome. Okay, so let's move on to my next tip. When you have a team that wanted to grow, as a manager or a leader, you need to provide that career progression or developmental project where they can develop, where they can grow. Show them that opportunities. Open the doors for them. When you have a team who wants to grow, who wants to develop, support them. Give them those opportunities. Lead them the way. Even if somewhere where you can't, you discuss it above there. How do we support this team in order for them to grow? This is the area that they wanted to go. So how do you support them? You need to be a leader who can inspire your team for them to grow. So create opportunities, developmental opportunities at your workplace. Let your team or your staff know that there is a progression. In this career that I took, there is an opportunity for me to grow, that I won't just stuck in one place, that there is a way for me to grow. Even if it's not at the role that you're doing or the environment or the company that you are, even if the career progression is not there, lead them the way. Show them how to progress further. Support them. Give them your full support. Let them know that you're always there to listen to them. The other tip I'm going to share with you is offer flexibilities at workplace. We all know when you have a team, majority of us, we are adults. We have work life, and then we have family life, and we have outside world personal life there. Create flexibilities within your team. When I said flexibilities can be in a sense of, if it's not a 9-to-5 job, what other ways are you going to manage this team if you don't want to lose them, for them to be adapted between their work life and their personal life? This can go a long way when the team realize that there are some flexibilities at my company. This will not even give them the thinking of, oh, I need to go somewhere else where I can find flexible career. So create that flexibility for them. Even at workplace, check on them. What are their histories? Is there any risk that you need to aware of? Is there any health issues that you need to be aware of to create those reasonable adjustments, to create that flexibility so that they can be adapted to the work environment? So those are the things you need to check on as a manager. This can create staff rotations. They can stay. None will even mention of moving elsewhere. Another tips I'm going to share with you is you need to share your company vision. What is the company goal? What is the aim? What are the objectives? Where are you heading at? The mission, the vision of your company. Where are you heading out? The next tip I'm going to share with you is remember always to create a positive working environment. It goes a long way. Where an environment is very toxic, people will not like to go there. But where the environment is very positive, everybody would love to be there. If your work environment is very positive, the atmosphere is very positive, this will create a very positive impact to your team, how they deliver tasks. Because any environment that is full of conflict, is full of gossiping, is full of backbitings, you name them, nobody likes to go there. Nobody likes to work there. You can see people will start calling in sick. People will start feeling, say, oh, I need annual leave. They start, if they don't leave the job, those are the excuses they will give. So creating a positive environment has a great impact to motivate your team to look forward to come to work on a daily basis without thinking of what are they going to be saying about me, without thinking of any conflict resolution. The way I work with my team, where there is a conflict, immediately when there is a conflict, I make sure that I deal with that conflict right there and there, so it won't move forward. Then we share an idea and always reminding the team we are working as a team. When you have issues, please let's share it. When you have issues, bring it out. Don't keep it to yourself. Bring it out, because a problem's share is a problem solved. That's the code of my workplace. It is very, very important. When you have a positive environment, that will create staff to be coming here. Like I said, my workplace, I've got a big, massive team that are always looking forward to come to work. Why? Because I created a fun environment. Like what the team said, I didn't say it. It didn't come to me. What did they say? I will give you as an example. Yesterday, we have seniors meetings. When they come to my workplace, what did my colleague say, or what did the team say? When they asked them, how do you feel? They said, oh, we love it here. This is a good, positive place to work. This is a good environment to work. This is like everybody feel free. I think if I don't come a day, I miss the whole team. That the environment is very positive. That our manager, it didn't come to me, it's from them. He said our manager is very firm when it comes to workload or to render a task. But she's a funny lady. I smile with my team. I joke with my team. But at the same time, the work needs to be done. So it didn't come from me. It came to them. I was shocked yesterday because I didn't realize that that's how I am. I didn't know. But thanks to them anyway. Okay, sorry. Let's move on. Okay, the next tip I'm going to share with you, because I don't know the countless. I don't know. I'll just go on. Maybe at the end, you guys will tell me how many tips did I count to this end. Okay. To avoid the video to go too long, so maybe I will just drop in the last one. The last tip I'm going to share with you is make sure you have regular supervisions or appraisals with your team. Supervisions, I'm not too sure how other trusts or companies work, but like in my own trust, we do monthly supervision. In those supervision, that's when you will get to know your team more. That's when they will tell you supervision is nothing to do with work workload or anything to do in the environment. Supervision is where the team can express themselves. That's where they can tell you how they're feeling, like when it comes to risk management, when it comes to their personal life, their well-being. This is where they discuss everything. Some can bring in their workload. If the workload is too much for them, this is where they discuss it. And at the end of the day, those discussions, there should be a solution. When you have a supervision with your team, if they express any issues that they can't manage, try as much as you can to give them a solution. Because the reason why they offload that to you is for you to support them so that they can have a way out, so that they can have a solution. Where you stuck that there is no solution, you can tip in, you can ask for their consent. Is it okay if I can discuss this to my online manager? Maybe they can have a way how they can resolve this. If they said yes, it's something that I need to carry forward and make sure that we resolve those issues. So supervision with your staff is a way to know how they feel, how they are coping. Are they coping well? Or if is the workload too much for them? Or are they having any personal issues outside there? Because all of us have personal reasons. So this is the time you will know your team, to know what is really, really happening with them. And this is where you create flexibilities at work, or you create reasonable adjustments for them. So you find that through supervision, that's when you know your team, you know their work style, you get to know them. And then you implement what tasks are you going to render to them. That is how you delegate tasks to them. Sometimes you can delegate a task to them. Maybe through that supervision, the team will tell you, oh, I'm not able to do this task. Is it okay if I can do this? Then you can sit down and share idea. Okay, where else do you want me to delegate? What other tasks do you want to be delegate? We share it together, and then we make an agreement and sign the supervision as an agreement. So it is very, very important to have monthly supervisions with your team to know what is happening. And also, it's not just to know what is happening, but also to know their improvements and also to give them feedback. Where you felt like they've done well, this is the time you're giving them that positive feedback. And where you think they still needed improvement, this is where you give them that feedback as well. This area is lacking. What do you want us to do in order to support you? Or do you want us to do this X, A, B, and C? Then they can choose. So you support them through that supervision. Then another one that comes in yearly is appraisals. Every year, make sure you have an appraisal with your team. With the appraisals, that's when you can check all the objectives. When you employ them, there is always set objectives for that particular staff. So around appraisals, that is the time you need to check those objectives, if they have achieved those objectives that they set for this year. And then also, you check the performances. What is their performances like? Have they improved, or do they want to develop higher? You ask them in the next 1, 2, 3 years time to 5 years, where do you want to find yourself? So if they said they want to be X, Y, and Z, then you need to create another objectives or plans on how they can reach that potential goal they want to reach by the end of the year they set. So through that appraisal, that's when you can set goals in order for them to achieve those aims they've already set through their performances. So it is very, very crucial. It is very, very important to have monthly supervisions and yearly appraisals to check on your team. These tips that I've already discussed, if you follow these tips, then you will have a successful team. Then you will have a motivated team that will always willing to come to work. If you come this far watching my video, thank you so much for doing that. But please don't forget to subscribe to help my channel grow. Like, comment, and share my videos so that somebody else might gain from this experience that I shared with you for you to have a motivated team. Thank you. I will see you on my next video.